What's up, everybody? Mr. Pixelate here. Today I wanted to tell you a little bit about what Pixelate is, who we are, and kind of give you a little brief history. So in 2020, I was working outside sales for a company or an industry that focused on restaurants. And in Washington State, where we live, the governor shut down all the restaurants due to COVID, so I didn't have a job anymore. I had been writing a few other books, and we were thinking, should we try taking writing full time? And we thought that would be a good thing to try since it was, providing some income for us, and I didn't have a job anyway. So we sat down, my wife and I, Mrs. Pixelate, and thought, what possibly could we write that people would love to read? And then we realized we had a problem. Our 8-year-old son at the time, Bubba, he hated reading, which is painful to me because I absolutely love reading. I read 60 to 100 books a year. It's my favorite hobby. I'd rather do that than basically anything else, playing video games, any other kind of fun hobby thing. I'd rather read. So my son at the time, he would rather do chores than read. He'd take his book when his 20 minutes of reading time was over and slam it shut, and he'd rather empty the dishwasher than do any more reading. So my wife, Mrs. Pixelate, and I, we sat down and we thought, well, what if we write something that he'd want to read so we can help him build a love of reading? And we sat down together as a family, which is myself and Mrs. Pixelate, and we have 5 children. We have Rara and Bubba and Lala and Finny and Buki. And those are our 5 kids. And we sat down with all of them and thought, what would you guys like to read? And we had started playing Minecraft because COVID hit and the kids were out of school. And that was the first time we'd ever started playing it. And it was a big hit in our house. The kids went crazy over it and they got really involved. And it was a great way for them to stay connected with their school friends. So we figured, why don't we write a Minecraft book? And we sat down with the kids and we designed the characters and the setting and the plot and all of that stuff with them. And that kind of birthed the first Accidental Minecraft family. What we did was we wrote 3 books to start, and we released them very, very quickly. The first book, and then every 2 weeks we released the next 2. So we kind of continued that throughout all of our writing career. Mrs. Pixelate and I work very closely together. We share an office. She has her computer right next to mine, and I write the books and she makes them better. She does all the developmental editing and line editing. Developmental editing is when you take a book and you find any kind of missing plot holes or elements that are wrong and need to be changed, or fine tune it so that the plot can have more tension and be more interactive for the readers. And then line editing is where they take the structure of your sentences and your paragraphs and sometimes move the words around or just tweak them so that they're better. And Mr. Pixelate needs a lot of line editing because my brain works in really, really weird ways, and I come up with a lot of weird sentences, and Mrs. Pixelate is constantly having to fix them. I've gotten a lot better over the years, but it definitely is still, something that needs a lot of help. And then Mrs. Pixelate also adds in a lot of fun and funny character moments that I may miss out on. So I like to say that I write the books and she makes them better. But that's who Pixelate Books is right now. And we work together. I love getting to work with my wife. She's my best friend, and it's literally the dream job, getting to spend so much time with her and writing books that my kids love to read and that kids all over the world love to read.